My name's Tom Schlosser. I have a private practice in Pennsylvania. It's a small town south of Pittsburgh where you see a little bit of everybody. I am solo practice and I focus a lot in trauma, but I also get everyone else who calls and reaches out. So at one point, I was seeing anyone from the age of 5 to 85. Recently, I don't see kids as much anymore, only on occasion, but I work primarily with adults. And I started my private practice at the end of 2016. It was what I needed, everything they had, and so that was great. And then the add-on with the AI has been great. Being a solo practice, time is money, and if I'm wasting a lot of time on notes, then I'm not able to see a client. Not only has it sped up my notes a little bit, I got pretty good at figuring that out, but what it really does is just make me feel more confident in my notes. I pride myself on being a good therapist and trying to be the best I can at that. Documentation isn't always first and foremost. I do what needs to be done, but with the AI feature, it takes the added pressure off of making sure I got everything included. That's honestly been the best thing for me. It's just kind of taking the weight off, and therefore I can focus on things that matter a little bit more for me in business. My biggest challenge before was just making sure I've never been strong in grammar and spelling. That's been the biggest thing for me, just struggling in that area. And so having to recheck and check the note and making sure it sounds, legible and whatnot really was time consuming. And then the spelling aspect of having to fix things and go back through things. I'm kind of one of those persons that would just I kind of would do my notes as much as I could, I would put in some of the information that I could, and then I would come back and after meeting with the client, put in the stuff that pertained to it. And so I was doing it at separate times. And a lot of times I would do it in one big chunk where I would just sit down and bust out a lot of notes. And that could take me an hour or two. If I can give myself one more hour, that's one more hour I can fit a client in versus having to do notes. And from a cost benefit standpoint, right, I think it's $30 a month. I'm in that positive by gaining even 1 hour. Depending on the caseload, it's a no-brainer for me. The grammar side's great, but I think if anything, the portrayal of what I'm trying to say, gosh, I hate to even say this, but it sounds better coming from the AI than it does for me, just because I'm just trying to get, I was taught, you give the facts, you give very pointed things. AI, to me, actually makes it flow a lot better and easier. It's been helpful for me to reread my notes and go, oh yeah, that was on point. I really haven't had any issues with interpretation of the note I'm putting in and it misinterpreting what I was trying to say. From my knowledge, I don't think I've had to correct anything since I've used it. I don't feel like it's been this super intense thing to figure out. I put my note in, I push a button, I push another button. Operationally, from an adaptive standpoint, it's been a really easy transition. It's not like it's disrupted it much at all. It's increased my confidence significantly. I mean, I'm a small private practice, so I've never been super worried about audits, but it's always been in my background. I got audited a lot working for an agency. In private practice, it's always been in the background, oh gosh, if this happens. In an agency, we would audit each other's notes. We would run self-audits internally. I'm on my own, so I don't have anybody to do that. And so having this feature does make me feel more confident. If that was to ever happen, I feel fine with that and not going oh man, I hope they don't ding me on my ... issue. I think kind of tongue-in-cheekly, I would say, why wouldn't you? Just because of how convenient it is. I understand the hesitancy on the security end of things, but from a standpoint of efficiency and even running your own self-audits, the ability to have that happen simultaneously versus with an agency, you won't have to run those individual audits as much or as in depth, and so you're saving time that way. And then individually, it's just been a nice safety net. That's how I view it, honestly, the safety net that I feel more confident than I did before.